Hello everyone, it's SilverFoxSpectre, and today I'm going to be showing you a few things, but first, I apologize for no video in the last couple days. I have been sick, and therefore I couldn't really record, it sounded bad, etc. But, I'm back, and I'm going to be showing you the revamp I've made to the laser drill. Now, as with anything else in this pack, you need the workbench to craft it, so, laser drill. Still crafted the same way it was before, with iron wire, dropper, nether star, glass, and iron ingot, except now it doesn't need to be red glass, it can be any glass. You put them in this little pattern here, just like that, and then you get, oh, would you look at this, a laser drill. And yes, it has a new texture. I know, it looks nice, right? And now it actually has a second part to it. Now, these are in stacks of, well, this is not in stack of 4, oops, this is, should be 4 of it, but yeah. The laser drill now has a second component, which is crafted slightly differently from the other components. So it requires a dropper, 4 electrium, a glass, 2 redstone blocks, and prismarine crystals, and you'll get an arc generator. An arc generator is now required to actually run a laser drill, and it's replacing the power stone component that I had before, because power stone, yeah, it did require replacing a block, so now it doesn't exist. Neither does slate. Slate has been replaced with what do you call it? It's been replaced with, or it's being, instead of slate, I'm just using stone brick, and Power Stone no longer exists, so if I search that, you can see I'm not getting it. However, yeah, and this is a reversible recipe, of course, so you can put it in both directions and it still works, and I'll just put in the rest of it there. And you get 4 of them. You need 4 of them for this to work, but you also need the frame blocks. So, a laser drill actually requires these 4 different materials. It requires 4 laser drill arc generators, you know that, but it requires black concrete now instead of obsidian, because with the new obsidian texture, which is okay, it doesn't really go well with this build. Black concrete works just fine, and the generators are expensive enough. But if you just make this little frame on the ground with just basically a circle with some glass in the middle, and then you also want to build up these circular frames vertically, so they're kind of like this. There we go. There, that's the new frame. All you gotta do, place the laser drill. That's a generator. Place the laser drill on top. You can see, there it is. It's the laser drill, etc. It looks all right. Now it's not doing anything. And there's a reason for this. This isn't a complete structure. This is actually how you would build a structure previously, except the drill will go in the middle. Instead, now a glass piece goes in the middle. Still nothing's happening. This thing needs direct access to the bottom of the world. It's okay if bedrock is there. But it needs direct access to the bottom of the world to turn on. And you heard a little sound effect, it activated, etc. So that's alright. But it's not actually doing anything. And yeah, now this is just a little interface thing. I'll explain that in a minute. But all that you need to know for the moment is that, hey, guess what? It can deposit things into chests. So I'm going to put a chest right there. Boom, okay, got a chest next to it. And it doesn't matter which side it's on, it can be on any of the 4 sides or the top. It can't go underneath because this piece of glass is required. So you need that there. But yeah, it's not going to do anything though. There's nothing going into this chest, because I didn't place any of the generators. You place them, and they face the same direction you are. And then, yeah, they'll just start increasing its power potential, and you can place up to 4 of them. Now I'm just going to have 1 for the time being, for demonstration. Actually, no, I can have all 4. It doesn't make a difference. And I'll show you why it doesn't make a difference. You can see this still is not generating anything. And that's actually because these generators don't have fuel. These are powered by blaze powder. I'm just going to get 4 stacks of it. These are powered by blaze powder. You put in blaze powder, and as you saw, 1 was consumed, and it's actually starting to generate something. Now I'm actually just going to leave one extra in there, so it's got 2 in total. And after 1 minute, this will generate 1 item. Every 30 seconds, this arc generator takes out a blaze powder. Only every 30 seconds. There are no conditions on that. There's nothing you can do to actually increase the speed or the duration that blaze powder lasts for. So let's use the other one, and then in another 30 seconds or so, this chest will get an item deposited into it. Now, I'm just going to explain right now. This now basically has a fuel system very similar to that of the laser drill in, what was it, the Minefactory Reloaded mod, I believe, where it needs what's essentially a precharger, except now I'm calling it a generator, to generate an item. And in a minute, this should actually spit something out. There we go, andesite. So we didn't get lucky that time because it can give you stone, andesite, diorite, granite, netherrack. It can give you all of those 5, and I actually intend to change the loot tables in a while. However, as of now, it only has the 1 loot table. And it used 2, blaze powder to generate that 1 item. Now, the more of these you have, obviously the faster it works. However, it still would seem to take 2 blaze powder per item, because if you put 1 in each of these, I'll show you that actually. If I put 1 here and 1 here, in 30 seconds, this will actually give me another item, because 2 of them are fueling it, 2 of them are giving it power. Now, I intend to add maybe some particles or something that indicate, hey, I'm helping it dig, but right now it doesn't do that. And of course, if you put 1 in each of these, it would generate 2 in 30 seconds. Because, yeah, you're doubling the fuel, but you're also having the time, so it would give you twice as many items. However, yeah, that time it gave us coal, so we got luckier that time. Let's say you had 2 chests next to it. Quick interjection, I'm going to say this now because I don't know when else I should say it. Say you have 2 chests next to it. Or you could even have 5 chests next to it. Let's just say you have 5. It's going to first try to deposit an item in the eastmost chest. Then it will try to do it in something south, and then west, then north, and then on the top. And if it fails all of those, then it will just spawn the item in on top of it. However, if you, let's say that you don't want it. Like, let's say you want both of these chests here. You want these 2 chests, one on the north, one on the south. It's by default going to go for south, even though this north chest exists. However, this right here allows you to choose what sides it can and can't output to. By default, it can output to all sides. But if I click this, south is now inactive. It will skip this chest and put it in here instead. And if all of them were inactive, if it fails to put an item in, it will still spawn the item in. So even if I said this, it can't put north or south. It's going to try east, which is right here. There's no container. It can be a chest, it can be a hopper, it doesn't matter. It just needs to be a container. And it could even be a DSU from what the video I showed last week. It can be a DSU, and that still works. However, it's going to first check east, because that's available, and, you know, that's the first side it checks. Okay, there's nothing here. Alright, then I'll try west. Oh, there's nothing here. Okay, then I'll try the top. Okay, there's nothing here. Alright, then I'll just spit the item out. So you can actually do a lot of control here. You want hopper lines next to it. You can control where items go, etc. It's pretty nice. And if a chest is full, then it will try putting it in a different chest. So it will only spit the item out if it can't store it somewhere. Now, I kind of just explained why this isn't too much different from the, the Void Resource Miner from the, Environmental Tech, I believe. Environmental Tech has a Void Resource Miner that has a little structure and you put it on top. So it's kind of a weird merging between the Minefactory laser drill and the Environmental Tech thing. Now, even more so like the Environmental Tech, I intend to make it, I haven't done this exactly yet, but I intend to make it very soon, that you can replace this middle piece of glass right here with different colors of stained glass to change the loot table that it generates from. So you could increase, so for example, putting a piece of lime stained glass, or green, would increase the chance of emerald generating. Or red would increase the chance of both netherrack and redstone. and blue, lapis, and diamonds, and so forth. You get the idea. That is what I want to do very soon. Now, the biggest concern that I can imagine people would have is like, all right, why would I want more than one generator? If, the only difference that it makes is how fast it goes, and it just requires just as much fuel to generate an item, etc. Well, that's not entirely true. So these generators kind of have a processing inertia, if you will, where they can dig at increased speeds with more generators fueling it. So if one generator is fueling it, it'll take a minute to generate one item. If two are fueling it, it will take 30 seconds to generate one item, but for the same amount of fuel. But that's only for the first item. Then the second item, the processing inertia goes up or whatever, and the second item takes half as much time. But that's it, we'll just stop there. If you have three of them fueling it, then it will take the same amount of fuel, it'll take 20 seconds to get the first item. Then it will take, let me think, I believe 10 seconds for the second item. I could be wrong here. I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting this right. 20 seconds for the first item, 10 for the third, or the second. I can't speak. And then the third and onwards would take, I want to say, a ninth of a minute. Whatever a ninth of a minute is. Is that 6 seconds? A little bit more than that? 7, 8, somewhere around there. It takes a little bit less time. If you have all four, then the first item, of course, still takes, will take 15 seconds because you have four of them going, so it quadruples it automatically. But then the speed just keeps going up until it's 4 times faster than 4 times faster. So all four of them powering it has a maximum process speed of 16 times faster than just the one. And it updates near instantly, so if any of them are broken or stop being fueled, then it will reduce how much it's being powered by. Just because you have all four of them doesn't mean they're helping at all. They need to actually be giving it energy. But of course, one is fine to start with because you need to get it somehow. But if I actually just let's just put in all of these stacks, because it won't take very long at all. The first item will take 15 seconds, but from there on out, it will take less and less time to process. So, yeah, there we go. That didn't take nearly as long as the previous ones. And this second item should take half that time, and then this one should take a little bit less than that, and then the next one takes a little bit less than that. And yeah, as you can see, it's working, it's processing, and it's skipping this chest because the output says no, I'm not doing that. If I turn off north, you can see it just gets spat out on top. If I place a chest here though, it'll get shoved into there. If I turn off east, it gets spat out on top again. If I turn off the top, well, it still gets spat out on top because there's nothing here. And then if I turn off that side, of course, then we just get it spitting out automatically. Even if there's a chest here, it'll spit out. So that's a thing. But as you can see, it is working pretty reliably and pretty quickly as well, and it still costs blaze powder. Now, you might notice, remember how I said that blaze powder, a single piece of blaze powder lasts 30 seconds? That's still the case, although this is working 16 times faster. Or, because of the way the powering works, it's actually working 4 times more efficiently. Now it takes 1 blaze powder to generate 2 items instead of 2 blaze powder to generate 1 item. Of course, that's distributed among all 4, but the more generators you have, it's not only much faster, but it's also more efficient. That processing inertia actually affects efficiency as well as time. But the first item, of course, is just as efficient in any case. But I think it's alright. I think it's working pretty well. I do, as I say, I want to add some sort of indicator in here or Probably in here, actually. I think I know how we could do that. But either in here or, you know, like you crouch next to it and a little thing shows up on the action bar or just above your hot bar or whatever. Something should show up to be able to indicate that it is processing. And of course, if you break this, you actually lose any progress that it had. So don't break that. It loses whatever progress it had on the next item, and all of the generators required will like lose all their power that they had, etc. But quick thing I do want to note: if I just take this / game mode survival, you can actually get these back too. If you look, these have their names, but if you press advanced tooltips, right, you can see these are actually both just droppers that are renamed and have the custom model data. They still work just as they did before, and crafted ones and mined ones stacked together, there's no issue there. If I just, I'm going to get on top. Just like that. I can pick this up, put it back down, and it continues to work. Same with these guys. I take that, I get the blaze powder back, I can place it down and refuel it. Quick thing to note with the generators, if you place them vertically, they'll just default to south. So yeah, that's what they're going to do if you place them vertically. They're just going to go south. If you place them, you have to be pretty horizontal actually, because even like right here, that still is going to default to south, even though it doesn't really need to. But yeah, that's basically all there is for this right now. As I said, I want to make it so that there's a little color thing going on here where you can change the color of glass. I'll probably make any stained glass work. However, most of them are going to be duplicates of each other, like green and lime would have the same effect. Light gray and white would probably have the same effect. Gray and black would have the same effect. And then all the blues would be the same, etc. Those kinds of things. If they're close enough together, I'm probably just going to have them act the same way. Even though it doesn't make much sense, like purple's probably still or maybe I can be creative with it. Maybe purple increases lapis and redstone. But as I say, if I'm going to do that, then I need to give red some advantage over purple, like redstone and something else, or maybe even a higher chance for redstone. I don't want to make 16 different loot tables, but if that's what I need to do to make this work well, that's what I'm going to do. And of course, clear glass just has its default processing. The only piece of glass that will be required for the lens will be this middle piece. The rest don't matter at all. But yeah, that's it. And I do realize that this black concrete shows up as extra black in the recording. Like it probably just looks like the void, more or less. But yeah, that's how this works. Wait, quick note. I just thought of this and I wanted to say it before I forgot. These work in any dimension. If you want, you can make an array of these in the nether or in the end. I would suggest the end because then you don't need to have a hole down to bedrock. In the nether, you can no longer just place a giant grid of these on the roof of the nether. They won't have access to bedrock. So that's a problem. And also, these glow in the dark. I'm okay with that because it kind of looks cool, but that is just a little thing to note. They kind of produce their own light. Not actual block light, but yeah. I've been talking a lot. I don't think there's really much else that needs to be said. They're pretty self-explanatory. If you saw the other video on the laser drills before I revamped them, then great. But that's about all there is to it. I like how they work. They work pretty well, and I haven't had any issues with them yet. As I said, this data pack, along with the rest of Orium, will be released on May 5th. Yeah, May 5th, so that's actually about a week from now. That's pretty soon. And it will be updated after that point. So keep that in mind as well. It's not going to just be published and that's it. It's going to have updated versions with new features. Maybe these will process more than just blaze powder. The blaze powder is more efficient. I don't know, something like that. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. I don't really know what else I would need to add to this besides, of course, the loot table thing with the different colored glass. And this has been SilverFoxSpectre. I'm out.